So in today's video, I'm going to show you guys how I look for discrepancies when I am getting ready to dispute a bankruptcy. So stay tuned. Okay, so what we're looking at here is just your typical identity IQ credit report. So what I do when I log into Identity IQ, I pull up my credit report and I just scroll all the way down to the bottom, and I look for public information because that's where the bankruptcy will be stored. So the first thing I want to do is, once I find the bankruptcy on the credit report, the first thing that I want to do is compare all three credit bureaus. Let's see what they're saying: TransUnion, Experian, and Equifax. So the good thing about Identity IQ is that they'll list each credit bureau individually side by side. I know some credit monitoring websites you'll have to kind of toggle through different screens to compare, but I like Identity IQ because everything is side by side. I get to see everything and compare everything all at once. So what you want to do is just basically go down the line, start with where it says type, and just work your way down. What I always do is I compare what each credit bureau is saying. So right here under type, you see where it just basically says what type of bankruptcy it is. Okay, so we know that that is correct. So we want to go down to status. So in this particular case right here, under status, now this is a client of mine. So with that being said, this is actually reporting inaccurately because actually this is a discharged bankruptcy, not a dismissed bankruptcy. Okay, so dismissed would mean that if you started filing bankruptcy and then you either backed out of it, or you didn't finish paying off whatever your fees were, then that would make it be dismissed, discharged otherwise. So that's an inaccuracy for what we're doing. So that would definitely be considered to be an inaccuracy. So just like for the sake of kind of trying to explain this the best way I can and make it visual, I will be marking red marks everywhere that I deem is going to be a reason for me to dispute something inaccurate. Okay, so and we're want to go down now to date filed report. Okay, so of course we can see immediately when we compare all three of these across the board, 7/14/2016, 7/14/2016, and then we have Equifax here reporting a totally different date. Okay, so that's a discrepancy. That is a discrepancy. So we would definitely use that to dispute with not only Equifax, but we would use that to dispute with Experian and TransUnion as well. And how we would do it is this: we'd go to Equifax and we'd say TransUnion and Experian are reporting totally different date filed dates. This is inaccurate. Please remove this off my credit report. Then we go to TransUnion and Experian and we'd say, hey, Equifax is reporting a totally different date filed. This is inaccurate. Please investigate this and remove it off of my credit report. You can use whatever verbiage you want to use. You can switch it up however you choose to do it. Okay, so we want to go also to reference. Let's go down to reference. Okay, so under reference, which is basically just the reference number that should be on your PACER report concerning your bankruptcy. It's kind of like an account number or ID number. I'll tell you this: Experian and Equifax, they always seem to report extra verbiage, if you will say, with their reference numbers. TransUnion, it's usually just the number, nothing extra. And I guarantee you, when you look on your credit report, if you're viewing for the reference numbers, you'll see it's exactly like this. It's always like this. But however, I always use this as a dispute reason when I need to. Like if I need an extra dispute reason, I'll throw that in there because I want to kind of keep them on their toes and make them explain these things. Because and the reason why, I would dispute the verbiage that they have tacked onto the end of the reference number. It's simple. It's just because it's not on Pacer. Pacer doesn't have that there. It's just a number. Check your Pacer reports and you'll see for yourself. So if it's not on Pacer reporting on you accurately, then it's inaccurate. Correct? It has to be accurate across the board. Okay, and so we'll go down to closing date now. And as you can see, TransUnion, Experian, they have the closing date. You will know if it's the correct closing date according to what's on your bankruptcy paperwork, or if you go log into Pacer and look up your account. I will tell you this, Equifax, they literally never report a closing date. It's never there in the line of the closing date. It's always up behind the verbiage of the reference number. It just does not say the day. So if it was 2/22/2017, Equifax is going to say that it was 2/17. Okay, so you can use little things like this to dispute. What do you mean? Are you talking about January 17th? What date are you saying? So we want to keep them on their toes and make them answer questions. Okay, and so asset amount is usually always 000. On your credit report, nothing to dispute there. But when we come down here to where it says court, that's a different ball game, because every single one of these would be considered to be inaccurate. And the reason for it to be considered to be inaccurate is because it pretty much is. U.S. Bankruptcy Court, U.S. Bankruptcy Court, Tennessee, Knoxville, Federal, those are all discrepancies because the bankruptcy courts never issue information directly to the credit bureaus. So we want to keep that in mind. Of course, always send your letters out to your bank, not your bank. Of course, always send your letters out to the bankruptcy court where you filed for your bankruptcy at, so that you can get that letter back from them, that verbiage stating that they do not report to any credit bureaus, and also include that on your bankruptcy disputes. And I'll tell you the way I do this. I'll get my letter from the bankruptcy courts stating that they do not give information to the credit bureaus, and I'll also have my release or removal letter from LexisNexis. Now, this is what I've talked about in prior videos, where it could take 3 to 3.5 months or so, sometimes maybe even 4, to get LexisNexis to remove your bankruptcy. So that's it is time consuming, but I don't usually get to this part here where I'm actually disputing or looking for dispute reasons to dispute with the credit bureaus until after I've gotten those 2 responses. So this is actually step number 3. I just wanted to kind of come on real quick to show you guys basically kind of what I do to look for those discrepancies. And so this is like a huge part of what I do when I'm looking for discrepancies, and I hope that this has helped you in your DIY dispute process. If you have any questions, of course, leave them in the comments, or look us up on the web. Look in the description, and all of our contact information is there. And give us a call or book an appointment for a free consultation. I'd love to talk credit with you, help you out any way that I can in your DIY dispute process. So until the next video.